Welcome back to another video. This is JC Diaz. I'm actually excited about this episode because in every space we have, we usually look up to someone that we try to emulate. Whether you are a network engineer, you usually have, your teacher that you look up to and you say, you know what, one day I want to be like that person. Or your dad usually is your very first hero in your life. And when you are a little kid, you say to yourself, man, I want to be like my dad. You have somebody, we all have someone that we look up to, that we try to emulate in whatever space we are at that moment. Usually when we are kids is our dad. Our dad will be the first person that we look up to because is the closest person that is the closest person we know and we see every day. But as you evolve and you grow and you get older, you start looking at different people and you start looking at stuff that they say and they do, and then you say, oh, I would like to be like that guy one time, So the reason why I'm excited about this video is because, this person, even though a lot of people will say is the complete opposite of what I am, I'm a new person in this space in YouTube, and I'm barely getting started right now. But this person, I've been following him since his days at Fox News. And even though some of the stuff that he said in the past, I didn't agree with, but I've learned to respect him. And I feel like since he's been out of Fox News and he has his own YouTube channel, his own media company, I actually look up to him, and hopefully one day I can be at the same level as this person is right now. So I have a video. I have a video about Tucker Carlson, and I'm gonna play the video. And after the video, I will talk a little bit about Tucker Carlson, and we'll give you guys a summary about how I feel about Tucker Carlson and all that. So let's go ahead and play the video, and I'll be back in a few minutes.
Tucker Swanson McNair Carlson was birthed May 16, 1969 in San Francisco, California. He is the senior son of Richard Warner Carlson, a former Gonzo reporter that became the supervisor of the Voice of America, head of state of the Company for Public Broadcasting, as well as the United States ambassador to the Seychelles. Carlson's mom was musician Lisa McNair, née Lombardi. Carlson has a sibling, Buckley Peck Carlson, later, Buckley Swanson Peck Carlson, that is nearly 2 years more youthful. Carlson's concerned grandparents were Richard Boynton as well as Dorothy Anderson, teenagers who put his papa in an orphanage where he was adopted when he was 2 years old by the Carlsons. Richard Carlson's adoptive daddy was a wool broker. Carlson's great-great-grandfather Cesar Lombardi came into New York from Switzerland in 1860. From Lombardi, Carlson descends from Swiss-Italian ancestry. In 1976, Carlson's moms and dads divorced after the 9-year marital relationship supposedly curdled. Carlson's dad was given safekeeping of Tucker and his bro. Carlson's mommy left the family members when he was 6, intending to go after a bohemian way of living. In 1979, Carlson's papa wed divorcee Patricia Caroline Swanson, an heiress to Swanson Enterprises. Swanson is the little girl of Gilbert Carl Swanson and also the niece of Senator J. William Fulbright. When Carlson was in initial grade, his papa relocated Tucker and also his bro to La Jolla, California, and also increased them there. In La Jolla, Carlson attended La Jolla Country Day Institution and also grew up in a house overlooking the La Jolla coastline and also tennis club. His father owned residential or commercial property in Nevada, Vermont, and islands in Maine and Nova Scotia. Carlson was briefly registered at Collège du Léman, a boarding college in Switzerland, yet claims he was kicked out. He obtained his second education at St. George's College, a boarding institution in Middletown, Rhode Island. There, Carlson started dating his future wife, Susan Andrews, that was additionally the headmaster's daughter. He after that went to Trinity College in Hartford, Connecticut, where he graduated in 1991 with a BA in background. After university, Carlson tried to sign up with the Central Knowledge Agency, but his application was denied, after which he decided to go after a job in journalism with the support of his dad. Carlson started his journalism profession as a fact-checker for Policy Review, a nationwide conservative journal after that released by the Heritage Foundation and since acquired by the Hoover establishment. He later worked as a reporter at the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette newspaper in Little Rock, Arkansas, prior to signing up with the weekly Requirement Information publication in 1995. Carlson proactively looked for a role with the publication after hearing of its founding, fearing he would certainly be crossed out as a wingnut if he rather joined the American Viewer. In 1999, Carlson spoke with then-Governor George W. Bush for Talk magazine. He quoted Shrub buffooning Carla Faye Tucker, who was performed in Shrub's state of Texas, and also regularly utilizing the word fuck. The item resulted in poor attention for Shrub's 2000 presidential project. Further right into his career in print, Carlson worked as a columnist for New York and Reader's Digest, creating for Esquire, Slate, The Weekly Requirement, The New Republic, The New York Times Publication, The Daily Monster, and also the Wall Surface Road Journal. John F. Harris of Politico would later mention on how Carlson was seen as a crucial voice of the intelligentsia throughout this period. In his very early television occupation, Carlson wore bow ties, a habit from boarding institution he continued on air up until 2006. In 2000, Carlson co-hosted the temporary show The Spin Space on CNN. In 2001, he was selected co-host of Crossfire, in which Carlson as well as Robert Novak represented the political right, rotating on various nights, while James Carville as well as Paul Begala, likewise rotating as hosts, stood for the left. Throughout the exact same duration, he additionally organized a regular public affairs program on PBS, Tucker Carlson, Unfiltered. In October 2004, comic as well as the daily program host Jon Stewart appeared on Crossfire, ostensibly to promote America Guide, yet he rather released right into a critique of Crossfire, claiming that the program was harmful to political discourse in the United States. Carlson was selected by Stewart for criticism, with Carlson consequently slamming Stewart for being prejudiced toward the left. On January 5, 2005, CNN principal Jonathan Klein told Carlson that the network had actually made a decision not to renew his agreement. CNN revealed that it was ending its connection with Carlson and would quickly cancel Crossfire. Carlson's very early evening show, Tucker, initially entitled The Situation with Tucker Carlson, premiered on June 13, 2005 on MSNBC. He also held a late afternoon weekday wrap-up for the network throughout the 2006 Winter Months Olympics, during which he tried to find out how to play numerous Olympic sports. In July 2006, he reported real-time for Tucker from Haifa, Israel, during the 2006 Lebanon War in between Israel and Hezbollah in southerly Lebanon. While between East, he additionally organized MSNBC's special record, Mideast Crisis. He showed up regularly on Decision with Dan Abrams as a panelist in political conversations. Tucker was terminated by the network on March 10, 2008 because of reduced ratings, and also the last episode aired on March 14, 2008. Carlson was a candidate on Season 3 of the Truth Show Dancing with the Stars, which aired in 2006. He was paired with expert dancer Elena Grinenko. Carlson took 4-hour-a-day ballroom dancing courses to prepare for the competition. Carlson was the very first contestant removed, on September 13, 2006. Carlson had a cameo look in the Period 1 episode, Hard Round, of 30 Rock and in a Season 9 episode of The King of Queens, both playing himself. In Might 2009, Fox Information revealed that Carlson was being worked with as a Fox News contributor. He was a regular visitor panelist on Fox's late-night witticism show Red Eye with Greg Gutfeld, made regular looks on the All-Star Panel segment of Unique Report with Bret Baier, was a replacement host of Hannity and Sean Hannity's Lack, and produced a Fox Information special Qualified Fighting for Our Children's Minds. In April 2013, Carlson replaced Dave Briggs as a co-host of Fox and Friends Weekend, signing up with Allison Camerata and Clayton Morris on Saturday and also Sunday mornings. On November 14, 2016, Carlson started holding Tucker Carlson Tonight on Fox Information. The best episode of the program, which replaced On the Document, was the network's most viewed telecast of the year in the time slot with 3.7 million visitors. Tucker Carlson Tonight aired at 7 p.m. Eastern Time each weeknight until January 9, 2017, when Carlson's show replaced Megyn Kelly at the 9 p.m. Eastern time slot after she left Fox News. In January 2017, Forbes reported that the program had scored constantly high ratings, averaging 2.8 million audiences per night, and also positioned as the second court information program behind the O'Reilly Consider December. In March 2017, Tucker Carlson Tonight was the most viewed wire program in the 9 p.m. time slot. On April 19, 2017, Fox Information announced that Tucker Carlson Tonight would certainly air at 8 p.m. following the cancellation of the O'Reilly Factor. Tucker Carlson Tonight was the third highest-rated wire information show since March 2018. In October 2018, Tucker Carlson Tonight was the second highest-rated cable television news show in prime time, after the Sean Hannity program with Sean Hannity, with 3.2 million nightly audiences. By the end of 2018, the show had begun to be boycotted by a minimum of 20 marketers after Carlson said Mexican immigration makes the country poorer, dirtier, as well as extra divided. According to Fox Information, the advertisers only relocated their advertisement buys to other programs. By January 2019, his program dropped to third with 2.8 million every night viewers, down 6% from the previous year. The show had shed at least 26 marketers. There were phone calls to terminate Carlson from Fox News in March 2019 after Media Matters resurfaced comments on women he had transformed several years to the radio show Bubba the Love Sponge, yet his ratings rose 8% that week regardless of the boycotts. By August 2019, Media Matters calculated that some firms had actually satisfied their media buy contracts and also marketing inventory for the time port and had actually currently begun their purchases for various other time slots on Fox News. At the close of 2019, Carlson's Nielsen ratings amongst all audiences 25 to 54 positioned him second just to Fox's The Sean Hannity Show among cable television news programs. Starting the week of June 8 to 14, 2020, Tucker Carlson Tonight became the highest-rated cord news program in the U.S., with an average of 4 million visitors, vanquishing the programs held by fellow Fox News pundits Hannity as well as Ingram. This was available in the wake of Carlson's remarks criticizing the Black Lives Matter motion, which had triggered some firms to pull their marketing from the program, including the Walt Disney firm, T-Mobile and Papa John's. In July 2020, Carlson's head writer, Blake Neff, surrendered after CNN Business reported that he had actually been making use of a pseudonym to publish remarks referred to as racist, sexist, and also homophobic on AutoAdmit, a message board recognized for its lack of small amounts of offending as well as libelous content. The occurrence drew renewed analysis to Carlson's program, already under pressure from enrollers as a result of Carlson's remarks concerning Black Lives Matter. Neff had likewise previously been a writer on The Daily Customer. Carlson condemned Neff's posts on the second episode of Tucker Carlson Tonight that aired after the messages were initially reported. By October 2020, Tucker Carlson Tonight averaged 5.3 million audiences, with the program's regular monthly ordinary ending up being the greatest of any cable news program in history at that point. In the 25 to 54 demographic, the program kept an average viewership of simply over 1 million, with 670,000 being between the ages of 18 to 49. Carlson's program saw a dip in viewership following the consequences of the 2020 political election, losing out to Anderson Cooper 360 Degrees in the 25 to 54 market, which Carlson had preserved a hold of the previous month. This accompanied Carlson's distancing himself of President Donald Trump's post-election legal battles, in which Carlson said the political election was not fair, however acknowledged it still would not create a Trump success. In 2020, Tucker Carlson Tonight as well as the Sean Hannity program became the first wire news programs to finish a complete year with viewership over 4 million. In the week adhering to the launch of Joe Biden as president, Tucker Carlson Tonight stayed the only cable television information program to not see a drop in viewership, slightly boosting even from where it stood 1 week prior as well as redeeming its lead among the 25 to 54 market. In February 2021, Carlson revealed a multi-year deal between him as well as Fox Information for him to hold a new weekly podcast and collection of regular monthly specials dubbed Tucker Carlson Originals solely on sister streaming service Fox Country with an intended launch in April. Carlson has been defined in the media as a conservative or paleoconservative. Writing for New York City Magazine's Intelligencer, Park MacDougald called Carlson a center American radical, which he referred to as a person who holds populist financial ideas, hostility to corporatocracy, fervent positions on nationalism, race, and migration, and a choice for a solid United States president. MacDougald recognized this form of radicalism as the ideological core of Trumpism. In March 2021, Carlson criticized modifications being made to the U.S. Army to accommodate female soldiers, calling it a mockery of the U.S. military. For these statements, Carlson was slammed by Army leaders. Carlson is wed to Susan Carlson, née Andrews. They satisfied while in senior high school at St. George's Institution and were married in 1991 in the secondary school chapel. They have 4 children.
And we are back. After watching this video, I wanted to talk a little bit about Tucker Carlson. As you guys just watched, Tucker Carlson comes from a upper middle class family, and went to a couple of schools, and he persevered until he's found what he wanted to do, and he pursued several things. He was into sports. He even participated in Dancing with the Stars, but his passion turned out to be journalism, and I'm hoping one day to be at the same level as Tucker Carlson. And I know he said some things in the past, and they were controversial. But if you guys think about this, at some point, all of us have said something that has been controversial, because not everything we say people are always going to like. So I've been following Tucker Carlson since he was at Fox News, and like a lot of my peers, I had a bad image of Tucker Carlson because, that's what I was used to listening or watching in social media. Whether it was on Facebook or YouTube, the image that they were portraying about Tucker Carlson was a image of this super racist person who was a Nazi, who hated all minorities and all that. And did he say some stuff that came in as incendiary? Yes, he did. He said some things that were incendiary. But we have all done that at some point in our lives. And even when I disagree with someone about something they said, I can learn to respect a person who stands his or her ground, and back up what they said. They don't run away from what they say. They keep a stance and say, yeah, I say this and this is what I think. And I can respect that even if I don't agree with the stuff that person said. And this is the case with Tucker Carlson. I think since his exit from Fox News, and he's been dealing with his own media group, his own YouTube channel, I think Tucker Carlson has come a long way. And I'm hoping one day to be at his level. I'm hoping one day to be able to get an interview with Tucker Carlson. So if you're watching this video, Tucker, I would love to, do an interview with you and just to pick your brain, because I do like the stuff you do now that you've been on YouTube and you've been on your own. I do watch your videos. Like, I find myself watching your videos all the time, and I'm, I am a conservative in some things and I am a liberal in some other things. So I'm kind of like in the middle. So I call myself an independent. But what I like about Tucker Carlson is that he's a curious person and he's not scared to call out whoever he has to call out. Obviously, while he was at Fox News, there was only so much that he could put out there. There was only so much he could put out there because he was under the control of the big media company. But now that he has his own media company, his own YouTube channel, he's able to be more curious. He's able to question, to ask more questions. He is calling out some things the way he sees it. He's criticized Trump, and he was one of Trump's supporters before. And he's criticized Trump before. So I can see myself, as a person just like Tucker Carlson in the future. Hopefully I get to have the audience and the platform that he has. I'm nowhere near to the level that Tucker Carlson is. I would love to at some point, and I think I can get there because I am kind of like the same as Tucker Carlson. I'm curious, even though I come from a completely different background, but I'm curious. I'm not scared to call out what I see, and I like to learn new stuff all the time, and I will continue to be this way. So, even though me and Tucker Carlson are not the same, but I do follow him, and he is someone that I look up to when it comes to this space on YouTube, because I am curious like he is, and I can see myself having the same kind of impact that he's had. Whether you like him or not, you cannot deny that Tucker Carlson has been one of the most influential voices. Excuse me, voices. He has been one of these most influential voices in American politics within the last, I want to say, 10 years. While he was at Fox News, and then now that he has his own space, has he said some stuff in the past that was incendiary? Yes, like when he said, that Mexican immigration into the country was making our country more dirty or whatever. He said that, but we have all said stuff like that in the past, and I'm sure that in his mind, it has crossed his mind, and he said, you know what, maybe I shouldn't have said that, or maybe I should have phrased it a different way. That doesn't mean he's a bad person. Doesn't mean he's a bad person. So, I'm looking forward to continue to watch Tucker Carlson's growth as a YouTuber, as an influencer, now that he has his own media company, his own channel. And I'm hoping that one day I can interview Tucker Carlson, because I would love to pick his brain. This is a smart guy, and I know a lot of you are not going to agree with me, and I know a lot of you won't agree with me, but we have to be able to come to the middle and listen to all sides. You can't just make videos or talk to the people that agree with you. You also have to go to the other side. You have to go to the other side and listen to what they have to say. It will be like in a divorce when they have a mediator. If you only listen to the husband's side and you're not listening to the wife's side, how are you going to make a clean, conscious decision about the situation if you only listen to one side? So whether you like, one side or you like the other side, you have to come in the middle and be open-minded and be able to talk to all sides. If you're a curious person like me, you want to talk to all sides, to all the sides, because you want to learn from every side. You want to learn the ugly, you want to learn the pretty, you want to learn everything. And I think that Tucker Carlson is he's a great journalist. You know, he goes above and beyond. He questions, he asks questions. He is not scared to call out anybody when he has to. And I like that because I am the same way. I'm not scared to call anybody out. I will if I have to, and I will continue to do it. You know, some people, you emulate some people in every space or every phase of your life. That there are some people that you emulate. Usually that starts with your own father. When you are a little kid, the first person you learn to admire is your dad. As long as he's present, that's the first person you want to be like. You want to be like your dad. Now, once you start growing up and you start moving out, you go to school, you start meeting new people, you watch TV. That tends to change sometimes. A lot of times it doesn't change. You still admire your dad, even after you've been, after you're all grown up and your dad is long gone. You still try to, follow on his footsteps and continue your dad's legacy. And in every space in life, you have someone that you emulate. And in my case, in this YouTube space, even though we are completely different, but I think I actually agree with a lot of stuff that he says, and that is Tucker Carlson. And I'm hoping that if you are watching this video at some point, Tucker, I would love to, give you an interview because I would love to pick your brain. I have several questions I want to ask. Several questions. And that would be amazing. And, later on in another video, another person that I look up to is Stephen A. Smith. Even though I don't agree with some of the stuff that he does, but I do look up to him in this space because I like how he has come into this space coming from sports, and he's being able to incorporate politics into his repertoire, and he's doing an amazing job. But that's another video. So right now, this video is dedicated to Tucker Carlson, his biography, where he came from, what he has become, all the things he went through. And you guys just watched it on that video. And at the end, you get me, ranting for a little bit. And, and that's the way it is. I would love to at some point, Tucker, if you are listening or watching, I would love to, have an interview with you. I would love to pick your brain because I am a curious person just like you are. And I believe that we both have something that we can give to society, to our country. We can contribute through our platforms. I believe that we both can. And I would love to ask you questions. I have a few things that I want to ask you. And to let you know that, I've been following you since you were at Fox News. And I believe since you've had your own media company, your own YouTube channel, once you left Fox News, you have done an amazing job and you have come a long way. You are able to express your own thoughts. Not that you didn't before, but you were under the control of the big social media, the social media company, I'm sorry. But now that you have your own media company, your own YouTube channel, you are able to express your own ideas, your own questions. And I like that. And like I said before, we don't have to agree on everything. And that's what I love about America. That's what I love about this country. This is a free country. We can ask questions. We can agree to disagree. We don't have to agree on everything. We can still be cordial and friends. And I'm definitely looking forward to watching more of your episodes on YouTube. And I hope that you watch some of my episodes. I'm learning. I'm brand new on this space. And I believe I can contribute to our viewers. I can contribute. I believe I can. I'm really curious. I want to learn, and I would love to pick your brain at some point. So this was just a video I wanted to make, and this was just something I wanted to bring you guys, and just to let you know, I follow Tucker Carlson, and I wanted to bring a little biography of his life, and hopefully he's listening or watching to this video, and I would love to pick his brain. I would love to. So this is JC Diaz. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you. Peace.